Hello again, and welcome back to the gargoyle segments of Intro to Cognitive Science. Again, this is a soft introduction to some of the key ideas behind programmatic thinking, language, information processing, a lot of things that all kind of bundle up together, and a soft introduction to programming, the idea of programming. So, in the past, we've done the first 3 exercises so far, where we've made some shades of dots, we've made some 3 colors of dots, and just some dots of dots. Yeah. Today we're going to do segments 2.4 and 2.5, and we're going to look at some colored dots of various colors. Once again, this begins by way of running Gargoyle and entering the circle area. And before we do anything else, as is, oh goodness, hard to click through. First, we want to make sure we're in the correct region. So this is it's still nuanced. Where did it go? Enter. We want to enter the lots of dots region. This is essentially just in case it hasn't been clear so far, regions are just the idea of where do the functions that we have, not functions, the commands we have written, where do they live? And in lots of dots, we should have some of our old friends. So if I do dot, yeah, dot, 30 dot, right? Good. Okay. So clean that up. We should even reset our pointer. And let's now that we're in the right region, let's do some bits here. So this is going to be top down. As we discussed before, we're going to define the highest level stuff and move our way down. So let's do colored dots is going to be 90 of colored, tough to type them sometimes, dot, so a single. Good. Now remember, if we call that dots, it'll break because it doesn't know what colored dot is. So we need to define that too. That's a new command. So the next line we'll do, colored dot, is going to be color and then dot. Now what does color do? We've talked before about if I just say red and then dot, okay, that makes sense. Green dot, blue dot, right? Those all make sense. What does color do? I'm not naming a color. Color picks a random color. Interesting. So now we have, actually I think we've defined everything we need to make sure that colored dots works, because dot is still defined in this region. So colored dots, make sure you get your 2 Ds. Oh, it broke. What did I do? I didn't define colored dot. Colored dot is going to be color and then dot. There we go. I can't spell colored dots. There it is. What's happening? At the top level, we have this command, colored dots. That is going to do 90 colored dot. Well, what's a colored dot? That's going to change the color randomly and then do a dot. And if we recall, what's dot? That's just move somewhere and then paint. So color picks a random color, move picks a random location. Ta-da! You can save this as we have before, you record it. And then also we can do, this is actually nice to get started if we do display. This allows us to ask, hey, what's going on in one of these commands? So we'll do colored dots, and it's going to show us the definitions that we wrote. Ta-da. So it says, oh, colored dots. Well, that uses this command 90 times. Oh, but also this is a custom command, so I'll print that out too. I'll tell you what that is. And then, ooh, color and dot. Well, color is a basic one. I don't need to do anything special, but dot, aha, okay. So that's the colored dots idea. It's painting a lot of colored dots on the screen, a little prettier than before. I think more colors going on, more interesting stuff happening on the canvas. Yeah, so that's the first exercise, or more or less. I mean, when you do exercise 4, it will be very similar. Make sure you're in the right region, or at least make sure you have all the right commands defined. And then do the same session, and then submit to me the image as usual. Okay, so now we'll clean up and reset. Ta-da! And well, we will do the next one. So, Starry Night. So now this is a good jump into the topic of emergence. From the as we discussed in lectures before, emergence is this idea that sometimes something more interesting or sometimes meaningful or coherent can come from something that is not as the complexities and connections among all kinds of very small actions. So we're going to see how we can make something a little bit different out of these dots. So instead of looking at something that is dots, we're going to look at something that is a starry sky. So let's do session 8. We're going to say Starry Night that's the name of the thing that we want to do, right? And we're going to say that is 4,000 black dot. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of number. We got to define black dot. So black dot is going to be black and then dot. And we've already got dot defined, our friend, the dot. So let's see what happens when we call Starry Night. And again, capitalization is optional. I can do, it'll do the same thing. It's going to print a lot. But you're going to watch, you're going to slowly stop seeing dots, and you'll start detecting just these small points of light. You see how it's changing. You see how you're grasping it differently as the time goes. And eventually, you'll see the black more as the background and the white bits as more as the foreground. Now, these are not going to be the best stars in the world, but I'm waiting for it to finish. I'm not sure when it will. 4,000 is a long time in this program, but you see what I mean. It's a very... we know that it's dots. We defined it. We wrote out that it is dots. We know that that's the only thing that can happen in this micro world is circle dots. And yet here we are seeing something a little bit the opposite of that. The points of light in the darkness. Yeah, this particular Starry Night came out a little less interesting. We managed to hit a lot of the dots, but I think you see the idea. So that is Starry Night. Yeah, that's it. So do these two, submit the your images of them, and feel free to play around too. That's part of this. The goal of this is to get you trained up in a space that you can kind of mess around with it if the mood strikes. So that's it for now. Thanks and take care.